I'm pleased. I think these two players, because they're the last two that came, we finished the transfer window off nicely in those areas. I'd be very worried if the transfer window had closed and we hadn't made these two additions, because there would have been gaps there. And I don't think we have got gaps now. I think we've got players in all positions. Yeah, people may argue there is still strengthening to do, and clearly there is. But for now, where we are and the way we're progressing, I think these two players are going to add a lot to the squad.
So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. And the transfer window closed last Monday with Birmingham City making two late additions with Jack Robinson and Patrick Roberts. And now, of course, Dad was away last week on holiday. He was enjoying some time off, so we had a little bit of a different schedule. So we are coming with this one a little bit later than usual, but we thought it'd still be a good idea to a little bit of a player profile, give Blues fans the insights of these players, some strengths, what they might expect from these players down the Blues, and kind of just give that overview of what we can expect. So, Dad, should we kick this off with Patrick Roberts?
Yeah, I think it's a position that we expected to be filled, and I think we've got a good player here. When we look at his stats in a minute, very briefly, just so that people know, we're going to do both players, as Matt's mentioned, in the same podcast here, where we've done them separately before. But as Matt's mentioned, the window's closed now, so we're going to just to close that loop for you. But I think Patrick Roberts is, a player that comes with bags of championship experience from Sunderland. And you look at his stats in a minute. He played a lot of football for them in the championship, so he's been a regular for them as well. In a way, I suppose Sunderland fans can let us know about this really, but I thought he'd do well in the Premier League, to be honest. So by the amount of the games he got in the Championship, I thought he was definitely one that would go through to the Premier League. But obviously, Sunderland spent a lot of money in the summer, and they must have obviously got better options in their opinion. Yeah. But I'm glad we've got him, and I look at his characteristics and think he's everything that we need in that position.
I can promise you, this guy is the real deal. I have family up in Sunderland, as you know, Dad. My sister-in-law and nieces and nephews in Sunderland. So if Sunderland are on telly, I always watch the games. I've seen Patrick Roberts a decent amount over the years. He is fantastic. And I think you can always tell, Dad, how well a player has done or his reputation by how people react. And if you go into the comment section from Sunderland fans, they're all gutted he's gone. They all really like Patrick Roberts. They think he's been a great player. The sporting director of Sunderland said, Dad, Patrick Roberts has been a catalyst in the success of Sunderland over the past 4 years. Tony Mowbray, when he was manager of Sunderland, praised his intelligence in attack. A very, very clever footballer. If you're the opposition manager, you worry about Patrick Roberts. That's what Tony Mowbray said. And obviously there are a section of the Sunderland fan base that use this term sort of tongue-in-cheek, but they've nicknamed him the Mini Messi.
Yeah, I've seen that. That come up on my research.
Because of how comfortable he is with the ball at his feet. And when you watch this guy in action, he carries it, he goes past players, he's fast, he's confident. I think we've got a serious player here, Dad. And there's one thing that always stands in my mind. I used to watch, as I said, Sunderland a decent amount from that family connection. And I remember watching the semi-final, against Luton in the playoff semi-final when they were at Kenilworth Road, and there was just one part where he took it, because he's an inverted winger. He plays on the right, but he's left-footed, so he cuts in a lot.
But that's what Chris Davis wanted.
And that's the way we played. Damari Gray's right-footed, but he plays on the left. Yeah. And you'll notice when you watch Patrick Roberts and the way he cuts in and plays, it's perfect for the Chris Davis style of football. But I was watching the playoff semi-final, and this guy, my mind wasn't connected to it at the time. I must have been a little bit distracted, but he took it from the halfway line, took it past one, and everyone thought, he's going to lay it off now. Took it past 2, 3, 4. Not far off, took it past the whole team. But the chance didn't come to much. But I just remember thinking, what a ball player he is. He's kind of like that player where it looks like the ball is stuck to his foot.
Yeah, he's what we. I mean, imagine him on the right wing as well. Obviously, we all the positives you mentioned. I mean, that's all my research shows. Really, just a lot of positives. Really, good at passing. Very strong at passing. Very good at dribbling the ball, taking set pieces. And we've got a lot of new players that we've brought in over this summer window that are good at. So we should improve on set pieces. And we've known Blues fans that that's what we've been poor, haven't we, on set pieces over the last couple of seasons. Very good at crossing, which you'd want from a winger. And he's experienced. That's the thing for me. He's experienced, isn't he? He's left-footed, as you mentioned. Not the tallest, but he's 28 years old.
Perfect.
So you think, well, he's not for a winger. That's a good age. I mean, he should be at the peak of his.
Same as Damari Gray. We've got Damari Gray and Patrick Roberts on each wing at 28 years of age.
I know. Probably I say in the prime of their careers as well. But in the Championship last season, he played 45 games. for Sunderland at +3 in the playoffs. In the season before, he played 32 games. So and I think there was a little bit of injury in there as well. So he's a regular first choice for Sunderland.
He made 147 appearances overall in his career at Sunderland.
Yeah.
We've only got him on loan, so he's going to go back. I mean, who knows what happens at the end of that? But he's made 147 appearances, Dad, while Sunderland have been making that transition to push into the Premier League. So,
Yeah.
of course, we know they're there now. But the point of me saying that is Patrick Roberts is a experienced championship player who's took a team to the Premier League. He knows what it takes to win games at this level.
Yeah.
And as I said, we're getting him at 28. He's in his prime. We've needed a right winger, in my opinion. I always said that our marquee signing in the transfer window was going to be a right winger. Fair enough, that wasn't quite to be. I think the marquee signing in the end was Kyogo, wasn't it?
I think he did. He could turn out.
He's close up there, though. Honestly, you watch this guy when he starts and signs. I think he's going to blow a lot of Blues
I
fans
think
away.
he could turn out to be the Water of this transfer. With the
think
other
you're
one that
right.
came in who was thinking, I wonder who that is, or we didn't know a lot about him.
It's because he came in the same day
And
as
he was
Stansfield or
yeah,
Water.
yeah, but this guy, I think he could be. We'll look back at this as a possibly a very good transfer.
Don't fall in love with a lone player. That's how the saying
Yeah,
goes. Isn't
yeah,
it?
particularly him as well. I mean, he was at Man City for years, but he's had loans at Celtic, a couple of loans at Celtic, Girona in Spain, Norwich, Middlesbrough, Derby, Troyes in France, and obviously he was eventually sold by Man City to Sunderland, and he's come on loan to us. So he's got a lot of experience in different.
Did you mention
levels.
Celtic in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Celtic.
the reason why I mentioned that, Dad, because obviously he got on the phone with Chris Davies, didn't he? And they had a connection from both their times at Celtic, and that was a big swayer in the decision.
Yeah.
Because I believe Derby were in for him. There was a few La Liga teams in for him as well. So there was no short of interest for Patrick Roberts, but I think that phone conversation with Chris Davies and his connection that he had with him at Celtic really helped push that through. So fair play to the club for getting that over the line as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good signing as well. Like he said, he played 147 times for Sunderland, scored 9 goals and 18 assists. Celtic.
Sorry, Dad, but again, Blues fans, if you want to have a look at some of his goals for Sunderland, obviously YouTube it. Some of the goals are belters.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Well, I suppose that when you've got a winger that cuts in onto their left foot from the right, I mean, you are going to open up the chances like that. Celtic, he's played 78 games, scored 18 goals and 26 assists, and then you go down to various other teams as well. But in the Championship, is where he's played most. He's played 170 games in the Championship, 9 goals, 22 assists. In the Premiership, which would be the Scottish Premiership, I'm presuming, 51 games, 15 goals, 19 assists. And he goes on to La Liga, League One in France. He's got a lot of experience as well. And when I look at his stats for last season as well, I looked at all the Sunderland fixtures last season. He played the vast majority of games in terms of the vast 90 minutes or slightly less. But if you look at his heat map, which should appear on the screen right now, it's as you would expect for a right winger, heavily dominated by that. You see all the red on that right hand side, which is where you want your right winger to be,
and cutting in slightly as well.
Yeah, because a lot of it goes into the whole of that right hand third is virtually, there's red there, and also what I like to see as well, there's quite a bit of red in the defensive bit, so he obviously does his work tracking back.
Just the dirty.
But to me, yeah.
I always call it the dirty side of the game. When wingers are expected to come back, it's such a good attribute to have that they're willing to track back. And I say willing, it's part of the game. I just mean some players don't do it very well, do they? They're just so hell-bent on attack. They don't do the dirty side of the game, whereas again, Dad, it looks like he gets stuck in and gets mucked in, and I think he's well known as well for his sort of collaboration and relationship building with his teammates. He likes to lift his teammates. He works well with them. I know when that season, remember when Sunderland had Amad Diallo? From Man United. They had I forgot who they had up front. They had that Coventry striker. They had Ellis Sims for a little bit up there as well in that season. But they had a couple of strikers up there, and he was known for that chemistry and that little triangle up front as well. So for me, Dad, I know we're going to split this in half, so we need to move on to Jack Robinson soon. But I think this is a fantastic signing, and I think we've got ourselves a real electrical pace, creativity, a team player, and I think he could be. I like what you said, Dad. He could be the underdog, kind of a Water, who's kind of flew under the radar a little bit.
And it'll solve that problem because we've been playing Williamson there, and I think that's to provide Williamson in the side to give a bit of height. He's not the tallest player, is he, Patrick Roberts?
No. But you don't need to be as a winger necessarily,
That's the only disadvantage is that we haven't got an awful lot of height up front with him in the team. But at the end of the day, you don't need to have that if you can score goals in other ways. But It'll prevent us shoehorning players in that position that don't need to be there.
Got Kumas as well, that can play there as
Yes, yeah,
well. Fujimoto.
Yeah, well, it didn't work very well, but Chris Davis tried Kumas in the number 10, didn't he?
Like that.
Didn't like it at all, but we've got options there now. But I think that Patrick Roberts will take that position.
Agreed. I think he'll make it his own. I think give him a chance or two and he'll take it.
Yeah, I think so as well. So that's Roberts. Now we go on to Patrick Roberts, sorry, and now we go on to Jack Robinson.
The Robs.
It's
confusing the Robinson.
I was just thinking when I said that, we had a Tyler Roberts, so we got a Roberts out and a Roberts in.
There you go.
Just to clarify, we're talking about Patrick Roberts. Jack Robinson, again, this was a very late signing. This was. So what's your thoughts on him?
And I guess people will have watched our video from yesterday, Dad. I spoke about the whole Bielek thing and the whole Jack Robinson feeling to me like it was a little bit rushed. You mentioned you liked him, you liked his versatility, being a left footer. What I do like about Jack Robinson, Dad, is I like his aggression.
Yeah.
I like his left foot that sounds weird. I like the fact he's left footed.
Yeah.
And he can play left back if Cochrane was to get injured. We also have Cashins who's left footed as well. So we have a decent bank now of left footers and right footers, which is good to have at centre half. Of course, we know our first teamers are going to be Clara and Norman, which are two right footers. However, it's still good to have in the bank. I like his aggression. We saw him in the cup game, Dad.
Should have got sent off.
He should have got sent off. I can't repeat it because we're an on-swearing podcast. See the grief he was
No, that's why I said he should have got sent off for that.
For the abuse he gave the linesman.
Yeah, if the referee had all linesmen had any backbone, he would have got sent off for that.
Because it was what do you reckon, 4 or 5 Fs in a row?
Yeah, I mean, as an ex-referee, okay, not anywhere near that level, but I wouldn't have no hesitation sending him off. If he
at least the yellow.
No, I got a red. I mean, that wasn't a yellow. That was like foul and abusive language on a scale I've never even seen before. I was like, no. But he's going to have to watch that because he's our player now. And the thing is as well, let's clarify this as well before we move on. This is a permanent signing. He's not on loan.
Apologies. Did I say loan?
No,
no,
you didn't. But I'm just saying that it doesn't make any difference, I suppose, with his loan. If he plays for us, if he gets sent off, it doesn't matter whether he's a loan or permanent. But I'm just making the point. He's now our player.
Yeah.
I like players with a bit of attitude, but I like his experience. He was Sheffield United captain for a number of seasons.
Yeah.
So he comes with this at an age as well, 32, where he's got all this experience. I see this as very much as a Ben Davis type of player. He's left-footed, centre half, experienced, doesn't take no nonsense. Yeah. I think he's he's not exact prototype of Ben Davis, but there's a lot of similarity.
Yeah, comparable, definitely comparable.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether many fans know this, but he's a product of the Liverpool Academy.
Yeah.
And he debuted for them at 16, and he once held the record for the club's youngest ever player. Of course, that's been broken since then. But again, to break through the Liverpool Academy system, you've got to have something about you, haven't you?
Yeah.
And he boasts ridiculous experience at Championship and League One level. He's had spells at QPR, Nottingham Forest, Huddersfield, Wolves, Blackpool, Sheffield United. Probably just stole your thunder a little bit there.
Well, that's the podcast over for me now.
I do apologise. But I did have that information here because I was looking at him a little bit before. Obviously, we prepare a little bit. Yeah. And I like to look at the clubs they've been at just to see who's comparable to the level we're playing at.
Yeah.
And there's lots of clubs in there that have just referenced that have had. Some of those are League One now, some of those are Championship, some of those are Premier League. So he's had good variety in his career, but to have 140 appearances across those in the Championship, I think is very, very decent. And if we're going to be honest, Dad, I mean, I don't know whether you agree with this, feel free to challenge it if you want to. I think Jack Robinson will be our backup. He's not going to be a first-team starter.
We thought that about Ben Davis, didn't we, when he came in? And it depends on injuries and suspensions. I liked as well, when we had Ben Davis as well, he was obviously the left-sided centre-half and Clara was the right-sided. So if there was to be an injury for Neumann, I think that would happen again, is that Clara would shift over to be the right-sided centre-half, which I think is much more better and comfortable there. And obviously then Robinson would take the left side. Or Cashin, one or the other. But I think, that's the beauty of having in the side. I think most Blues fans wanted Ben Davis back for whatever reason. Didn't happen.
Me in there as well, Dad.
Yeah, me too as well. And it didn't happen. But I think this is a good alternative to fill that position that he left behind.
What I like about him as well, Dad, and I think we've kind of covered this in the whole sweary possible sending off at St.Andrews, is he does have that sense of authority. He does have a level of leadership behind him, and no matter what position you play, if you have that characteristic of a leader, you're always going to pick up your teammates, aren't you? Like, I was a good footballer, I was never a leader. It's just not in my,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, everybody is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But my point is, but he does have that quality where, I've got a feeling if you're on the pitch with him and he's shouting, you're going to want to run through a brick wall for him, kind of thing. A bit like Clara.
Yeah.
A bit, Jack Robinson has those features of a Clara, kind of, gritty, willing to get stuck in, aggressive, and that's all you can ask for your centre half, isn't it? You want those kind of qualities from someone who's going to be.
These are some good strengths.
The spine
actually.
of the team.
Yeah, exactly. That's the start of the spine from the goalkeeper
Exactly.
through, isn't it? And really, really important. But these are his strengths that I've got. As we mentioned, aggression. I do like that. I like players with aggression, but I like controlled aggression because we've had players in the past that have have been sent off silly. I'm sure all teams have really.
Yeah.
But aggression, which you do need. You need that edge. Defensive contributions. He's well known for his decision making.
I hope that's high.
Well, no, it's in terms of his decision making. He makes decent decisions. Aerial duels, which we do need. Is he 1.8? He's about the same height as me. I think
He's a decent height. He's 6'2", is he?
1.8. Is it? I'm 1.82, so he's about
just over 6
about
foot.
my height. Yeah, just over 6 feet. But listen, he's also got a really good long throw on him as well.
Oh, there we go.
So
long throws are back, aren't they?
Yeah, so he's known for a powerful long throw that can be used to gain quite a lot of distance. Weaknesses, and we have this for a lot of centre halves, this pace, but there's not that many centre halves that are blessed with loads and loads of pace. Yes, at top level, elite level, of course there are, but not at this level. So as long as
unless you're Sergio Ramos or Virgil van Dijk, you don't get the pace with all those physical attributes.
It's all about your decision making, isn't it?
Exactly.
And his experience will help him with that as well. He has been prone to a few injuries, so we'll have to be careful with that. And obviously his disciplinary record, which you mentioned, is also
he's 32 as well,
is a weakness as well. You mentioned as well about his. His transfer history. You mentioned some good teams in there. Obviously, as you mentioned, he came through the Liverpool academy, but he's been played for lots of. You mentioned Blackpool, QPR, Huddersfield, Nottingham Forest. They're decent teams, and particularly at Championship level. But I looked at his stats for last season. So he played 34 games for Sheffield United in the Championship last season, and he played 34 games in the Premier League. The season that they was in there before that. So he's a regular first-team player. So he's played 162 times for Sheffield United. Now, he's a centre-half. Let's not forget this. But I always do goals and assists. So 7 goals and 5 assists, coming up for corners, set pieces and stuff like that. That's not disastrous. Nottingham Forest, 59 games, 2 goals, 3 assists. QPR, 42 games, and so on. Championship is where he's got most experience. 261 games, 10 goals and 12 assists. And he's got 54 appearances in the Premier League, 1 goal and 3 assists. This is also, this is going back many years. He played at all the England levels up to England under 21.
I saw that as well.
But he never ever made it to the.
It's a big step up, though, isn't it? There for England,
it really is, yeah. And the final thing for me on him, mate, is his heat map again. That'll be on the screen of him right now. You can see that he covers a lot of ground on that left-hand side, doesn't he? So I think we mentioned, didn't we, that in the previous podcast that he could potentially cover at left back. And if you look at that heat map that's on the screen now, that suggests that he's comfortable on that side. Good. So if we did have the likes of Cochrane, even Laird might be needed on the right because of an injury on the right, or Buchanan. We've got someone that could potentially cover that position as well. But I like to see that. He doesn't really venture too much into the opposition half. Now, that heat map you're looking at is the heat map from last season when Sheffield United were in the Championship. So I'd like to see a little bit more maybe in the box when they're coming up for corners and stuff like that. But again, a good heat map shows lots of activity on the side that you'd expected. But that massive red gives us that balance because we've got other players that do the right hand side, haven't we?
Yeah.
So quite an interesting signing for me. I'm happy with this. I know there's been mixed views from some fans about him, but I'm going to be bluntly honest. We always are on this podcast. I like him as a signing, as a squad, addition to the squad, because I think that to me he's going to be a very, very similar signing to Ben Davies. And everybody ended up loving him.
Well, he was needed, Bernie. We needed a cover for a possible cover for Cochrane if he gets injured. I know we have Laird there and Buchanan who will be coming back after Christmas and all these things, but it's always that peace of mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
To have that extra bit of cover. I still think I'm coming back to. I still think the Bielek thing is a little bit, a little bit strange to me. But you know what, Dad? Between Jack Robinson and Patrick Roberts, I think we've got 2 great additions here, and I can't wait to see what they've got. It's one of those things that we could sign someone from League 2. I'm still going to give him a chance when they put a blue shirt on.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter to me who we
I'm
sign.
not,
As long as
I'm
the
not a big fan, Matt, of people that make that comparison between letting Bielek go and him coming in. Because when Bielek was playing, people would say he's too slow. He makes mistakes. Even as good a player as a lot of people thought he was, there's always that view. One side says this and one side
no,
says
people
that.
aren't making a comparison between the players. They're saying it was silly to let him go without having cover.
Yeah, but Blues have shown that they have got cover
Yeah.
because they brought him in.
Yeah, but it was last minute.
Yeah,
Is the point? Is the point?
They know what they're doing.
The point they're getting at, and I agree with it, is why would you let him go without having a decent cover? Because he's a good player.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining. I think Jack Robinson's
And
going
like
to be a good
you
player.
mentioned as well, that might have been out of their hands because Bielek might have insisted on going in.
Exactly, and we just don't know what happened behind there. But yeah, no, as I said, fair points. And any final thoughts, Dad? Because I think we've got two players
No,
here.
I'm pleased. I'm pleased. I think these two players, because they're the last two that came, we finished the transfer window off nicely in those areas. I'd be very worried if the transfer window had closed and we hadn't made these two additions, because there would have been gaps there. And I don't think we have got gaps now. I think we've got players in all positions. Yeah, people may argue there is still strengthening to do, and clearly there is. But for now, where we are and the way we're progressing, I think these two players are going to add a lot to the squad, provide competition, and maybe give Chris Davies those extra jigsaw pieces that doesn't require him to put round pegs in square holes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
because he balances the team, and they're both left footers as well. So for me, I think they're good sides. I know other Blues fans have got their opinions, and that's absolutely fine. We respect everybody's opinion on that. But from my perspective, I'm happy with both.
Yeah. Good end to the window, isn't it, Dan? I think the only thing in my mind now moving forward is if something happens to Iwata. That's the only position now out of the whole squad and team that I think could possibly do with a bit more depth for January. Apart from that, I think we're set.
Yeah,
and I think we're looking very good now across the board.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But as always, Birmingham City supporters, we would love to hear from you. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think on deadline day when we signed Patrick Roberts and Jack Robinson? As always, we do like to hear from you, and we do respond to every comment. But if you like the video specifically, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and check us out on our social media channels. We have an X page, we have an Instagram page, and we're also over on Spotify, so you can listen and watch us over on that platform as well. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and press that bell notification so you get notified every time we post. And myself and Dad will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.